We have the transcriptors already coming in. Ladies and
Ooh.
gentlemen, welcome. Let's get it going. Uh, Everyone is coming in. Here we go. Here we go. Hello, Kimberly, Renee. What's up, Renee? Hi there. Um, I need you guys to do something real quick before we get started. You will see on Zoom in the bottom right corner, it says that host and panelist is blue. What I want you to do is click on that. I see a bunch of people right now, and what you're doing is you're messaging myself and Phil, which we are super glad that you are. I want you to click on that host and panelist and change that to everyone. Okay, so we are super excited. Joe in Columbus, what's up, my friend? Mary, hello to everyone. Make sure you guys are changing that host and panelist to everyone. For some reason, Zoom is defaulting right now. Thanks. I'm getting some thumbs up. Everyone, good. This is your first quiz of the day. Make sure you are essentially commenting and typing a message to everyone. So change that host and panelist. I'll say it one more time just as people are joining us. Change host and panelist to everyone because this third session that we're going to do is essentially going to be about you guys, right? We polled the audience. We've asked for some great objections that you're hearing. But if you guys are only directly speaking to us, then ultimately we're limiting the type of energy and flow and content that ultimately is in the collaboration and synergy and all that fun stuff. So make sure that you are not talking to the host and panelists. Make sure you are talking to everyone. Click on that little blue chat where it says host and panelists, drop it down and put it to everyone. And let's get this party started. Uh, let's go. We've got some action here. Going to run you guys through a quick deck just to let you know that uh, I love it every time I'm on an airplane and they like kind of tell you like we're traveling to San Francisco. So if that is not your final destination, you should probably get off the plane. We are taking you through five conversations that every agent must master. And if that is not what you are looking for, if you're not looking to master conversations, then you probably want to get off the plane. But that is ultimately what we were here. And we brought the guru in for session number three, the man, the myth, the legend, Phil Jones. Make sure you give us a scan and go follow us on social. Uh, I follow Phil on social. It's amazing. He drops incredible content. Highly recommend it. Me. I occasionally drop something of value, but give us a scan, go give us a follow. And the reason why is because everyone loves these role play cards. We did a 30-day listing challenge where Phil was on and came on with as one of our guests. He absolutely crushed it. And it was just our DMs were absolutely blowing up for these role play cards. And he did a live demonstration on how we would just pull up a role play card and essentially just fly through and how it helped him from an objection handling. And so we want to give you guys these role play cards. All you got to do is go and tag Phil, use hashtag fellow, talk about something that you learned from today's call and then we're going to be picking out five winners. And so we'll make sure that we get those role play cards to you. And lastly, before we jump in, Fellow obviously is a large driver of this. Fellow creates so much engagement within your database that allows us, with what Phil is teaching us, to know what to say when people are engaging. And so if you want to check out Fellow, we'd be honored. Scan the QR code, and then we will get this party started. Phil, my friend, welcome.
Great to be here. Like part
We're
three of
here.
three, I'm going to be sad. That's the only
I know.
thing that I'm concerned about as we kick into this as well. And this has been fun.
Well, I am so glad that it has been an amazing 30 days or so, and there will be more of these. Can you do me a favor in the comments? Comment to everyone, not just the host and panelists, but comment to everyone if you were on one, two, or three of the sessions. If this is your third, I would love for you to just comment. How many sessions have you guys been on? Andrew Levy's been on three. We've got people on. This looks like, wow. So it's like, wow, they're flying in. I love it. So it looks like we've got a lot of people that have been on at least two or three of these sessions, which means to me, first off, I'm really proud that you're seeing value in this, that you keep coming back for more, right? And I think it's a testament to what Phil is teaching us. This is not a one and done type of thing. This is not a finish line. This is consistently evolving and improving our skill sets so that we can build foundational I would say skill sets for building a lifelong career, a generational career in this industry, having a lot more fun. And so I'm curious before we jump into, we polled our audience on like some of the top five objections that you ultimately are hearing. I'm just curious your takeaways after this being our third session on just some of the things that you're observing and stuff like that. Phil, what's your thoughts on that?
What am I observing right now is industry wide, I'm observing a lot of people who are waiting
Mm,
and waiting for things to change, waiting for things to happen, waiting for people to get back to them, waiting for the results that they are looking for, as opposed to driving action. And if they are doing action, I'm seeing too many people do busyness as opposed to business. In
mm,
much of what they're doing is they're getting lost in how do they create an abundance of semi-useful content on AI. They are um, getting overwhelmed by how much they're looking to generate leads via social, and they're forgetting the importance of just having meaningful conversations with people that they can look to be able to serve. And I believe more than ever, if there's one shift that this industry needs to work through, it is to extend what the timeline looks like that you're supporting a client from. Like, yeah, I know that you've got a team with a KW and they teach 30, 60, 90. It's like stop thinking 30, 60, 90 days and start thinking 30, 60, 90 months. Start
mm,
playing from a longer timeline. And what we have now, more than there's ever existed in my lifetime in this industry, is we have a lot of people who are stuck in decision making. They are indecisive and the agent isn't even in the conversation. So what then happens is people are waiting until somebody decides they want to buy, decides they want to sell, decides they want to invest, decides they want to move, and then wait for them to then contact you. But they're missing the fact that we got to find people in the mess. So what you have is lots of people who are currently in order, even if they're in their house they don't like, paying a low interest rate, etc. Their house is well ordered, and they want to get to new order, and they don't know how.
mm,
So if you're going to get from order to new order, the only way you're going to do that is to go through chaos. It's the only way. You cannot get from order to new order without going through chaos. So I've been helping real estate agents understand their new job description, which is to be chaos navigators. You're not knowledge brokers, you're not information, you are chaos navigators to be able to help the people that you care about to navigate the chaos that's happening in their world. And if you don't believe they have chaos happening in your world, you're missing the point. We all do. And when we can find people who can help us navigate that chaos, we get to clarity, and clarity brings confidence. Confidence accelerates speed of decision. That easy. In fact, we should just wrap up the webinar now. We're done.
done. Well, here's what's so fascinating to me, and let's see how good of students we have, because everything that you just said on the first webinar that we were on, you asked, what do most people respond with when someone asks them, "How's the market?" Right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the most common question we see is you're at a party, you run into friends, family, whatever it may be, past clients, and they always ask, "How's the market?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting to see
Why
how people
people?
responded to that. And you can see right now we have great students, okay? Because if you guys remember what Phil recommended on how we respond to that, it's a really interesting word on what he chose, which was, as you guys are all our wonderful students, interesting, right? And one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that you said that just validates kind of what you're just talking about is the majority of the responses were, "It's crazy, it's wild." And you associated or attached crazy and wild to chaos. And who wants to be involved in a chaotic transaction on such a large life event, right? And I think
Mm-hmm.
that was really profound for me was I used to always say like the market is wild. The market is crazy. Now I say interesting. I probably say interesting too much now, and I'm starting to like catch myself that I'm always saying interesting. But to your point about the chaos, like we um inject chaos into our prospects or our customers' lives when we're talking about how chaotic it is, how wild it is, how
Yep.
crazy it is.
And
You
we
know?
do it in our own personal lives and our business lives when people ask us, like, how's business? How are you? And we think responding with the adjective busy is helpful. Like, if you're
Yeah.
looking to take on board more business and you tell people you're busy, you've just told them you're not open for business, right?
Yeah.
You're at capacity, you don't have room, etc. is there are so many areas of our lives we can find better words. And I'm going to just do something in setup, Ryan, that I think might be helpful, right? Because I
Yep.
saw the big list and then I saw the short list of 5 about 40 minutes ago. So in seeing the short list of 5 that we plugged this into is I did some work before the work to make sure I'm ready for them. But there is something that is worthy of reminder and setup that actually tracks through all of them. And it plays nicely off what you brought up there from an interesting point of view, is that in conversation, more often than not, our immediate goal should be to create some degree of a curiosity gap. We want to be pulley and not pushy. You're going to see this play through in the way that I respond to every one of these conversations. We start from a curious position. Why? Because we need to understand other people's context before we jump into answer mode. And one of the scariest things that exists for me today is so many people are showing up and throwing up information that we are guaranteeing a lack of context. We are forcing ourselves upon people with our smartness, our insights, our value, etc., but we're missing the point. And note this is going to be a big idea, is everything that leaves your mouth, pen, keyboard, inbox is helping or hurting, nothing is neutral. This gets to a bigger idea when you think about things like email marketing. You have tools like automation that are showing up because you think that's awesome. I can set it and forget it, and it's going to send that information out. But possibly one of the most important KPIs that no agents is measuring right now is a KPI called inbox equity. How valuable is your name when it lands inside the inbox of someone else? Because I tell you what, if you have zero inbox equity, I don't care whether it got delivered or whether it got opened, you didn't have impact. So we want to be able to protect that. That means that we only want to be sending right things to right people in right ways. And the easier way to be pulley is to be curious. The easiest way to be curious is to be able to know the other person, which means that we have to demonstrate empathy in our communications, which means, look at my writing, it's getting worse every day, which means we have to be relatable. And only then do we have to be courageous to be able to invite people to take big action. Now that just all sounds so simple. I just want to keep coming back to it and coming back to it on any scenario. So any situation that you step into, you start from a position of curiosity. You then move to a position of empathy, and you then utilize courage to be able to drive an action. That is every conversation in the land forever. So when we look towards these 5, we can't lose sight of those 3 ingredients. They're going to show up in all of them. Does that make sense, Ryan?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that sets the stage as we start going through some of these, top 5 suggested talking points. And,
Yeah.
just to kind of remind everyone, these are we polled the fellow community. We got hundreds of responses on the 5 conversations every agent must master. So we're going to start running through some of these, and Phil's just going to kind of talk through, ways that we can navigate through some of these scenarios that you guys all feel you're feeling some pressure on in your current business. I'm not going to give you all
Mhm.
5 at front. We're going to start one at a time. You got to stick around. All right. But let's start with the first one. I love this one. Confidently positioning your fees and value against any objection. Okay. Confidently position your fees and value against any objection.
Bingo. Well, for context, we've got 5 scenarios. I want you all to know that I'm not going to equally weight time on these 5 scenarios. We're going to spend more time on the first one than we will any of the others because it will track through. I'm going to go about 40% on the first one, 10% on the second, 10% on the third, 20% on the fourth, 20% on the fifth. So just so you're like, hang on, we're like more than halfway through the event and we've only got to 1, that's intentional. So don't feel you need to rush me on it, Ryan. I know what I'm doing. Is
Cool.
in terms of dealing with this value situation, firstly, let's make sure we don't do something. A giant mistake that many realtors made, particularly on the buy side, but equally on the sell side, is in order to deliver value to their customers, they wrote a giant list of all the things they do that make them worth their money. And then, whether it was in physical or spoken form, they'd say to their customers, these are all the things that I can do for you. Now, if you look at a giant list of things, and then in reviewing said list, you realize you do not need all of them, what is your immediate thought? It is how much less do I pay?
Mm.
So the mistake that many people had in this business is they thought that what they were doing was building a value proposition or demonstrating value, but really what you were doing was trying to justify your fee. That's a different thing. Positioning value means that you have to have your value almost like in a diamond, that what you can do is that you can keep moving it around, so you show the right facets to the right person the right way. That concept makes sense, first of all. And that
It's
means that
it's
we're
almost
looking.
like an it's almost like an a la carte menu. If you start giving them a list, they start choosing, well, I want this, this, and this, and I don't want
Correct.
that. So why should I have to pay for all of these things?
Correct. So we're looking for a few things. Firstly, we're looking for X's and Y's. What are X's and Y's? You're like, that don't make any sense, Phil. Well, X's and Y's are people and problems. So let's say all of your X's are people, all of your Y's are problem. You, my friends, today have to decide who are your people and what are their problems. So people could be first-time buyers. People could be move-up buyers. People could be somebody looking to be able to buy their first investment property. People could be somebody's looking to buy a vacation home on the beach. You get the point I'm saying? Very specific people. You could be looking for divorced people. You could be looking for people that are looking to be able to downsize and move out. You could be looking for families that are struggling with people that are aging in place. But the more specific you are on the people, the easier it is to start to understand what the problems are that exist for those people. So let's start there. If we're going to have any value conversations, you don't want to be good at saying, I'm a professional real estate agent that's been doing this for 27 years and blah, 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 blah. Don't care. You want to be able to say, I help X achieve Y. 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 So at a very rudimentary level, positioning your fees and your value means communicating your X's and Y's. If you can't do that, you become self-loving in your comms. Now, what difference does it make when somebody says you're a realtor, like we're thinking about moving? Instead of you saying I'm a realtor and we've helped thousands of people, you can explore curiously what their scenarios are, and you say it's funny we've met. I've spent a long time helping young professional people locally buy their first home. Isn't that positioning already adding specialism as opposed to, well, what we can do is we can help first time buyers too. I mean, what we typically are is more on the list side, but we can. Like, I don't care what you can do, I care what you do. So, in everything from a value point of view, is I want to work with somebody that wants to work with me. That has to exist as the MO, like right up front, has to be that clean. So your X's and Y's need to be aligned. It doesn't mean that when I'm speaking to somebody who's thinking about selling their home, I'm telling them that I help people buy their first home. When I'm speaking to that person, what I do is I say, well, it's funny we met today. Is we've become somewhat specialists of being able to help families in this neighborhood to be able to sell discreetly and for maximum fees. And they're like, oh, that's what I wanted. See, what you're looking for is you're looking to not be a Swiss Army knife, or at least not tell anybody you are. You don't want to tell them you're a leather man. You want to tell them your tweezers. You want to tell them that you're a knife blade. You want to be able to tell them that what you are is a magnifying glass, who also happens to do all these other things. Always one tip, the rest is weight. One tip, rest is weight. You don't sell the weight, you sell the tip. You force the tip with the weight. Does this make sense? And Michael, it's not niching or niching, depending upon where we are in the world. It is understanding that your value prop needs to have facets. It's a triangle, right? It's got three sharp edges, and at any given point, this can be what you lead with, and this can be what backs it up. This can be what you lead with, this can be what backs it up. Put simply, anybody looking to make a buying decision based on value is asking themselves, have you done this before? Have you done this for someone like me? And have you done it recently? If you are yes, 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 you're my guy. If you are kind of like this, it's risky. So once we've got our X's and Y's lined up, we have to understand some other things about value. And I'm spending a lot of time here on purpose because this industry doesn't understand what value is. And you say things like, I've delivered so much value to this client, I don't know why they ghosted me. I've shared so much value with them, I don't know why they don't understand why I'm worth my money. You haven't delivered value, you've delivered stuff. It doesn't necessarily make it valuable. Your value is only valuable where it is both appreciated and appreciating. Let me repeat. Your value is only valuable where it is both appreciated and appreciating. I'm going to make this so simple. Give me some yes nos in the chat. Who in this room would like to purchase a pink inflatable dinghy? It seats up to 6 people. It is glitter sparkled. It has been lightly used in a number of different ways. Nobody's telling me what from a full disclaimer. It's around 18 months old. It is $2,336. Who would like to purchase it from me right now? Oh. Well, what if by alternative, you are on a different vessel? You are out on the water. You have 3 or 4 people with you that you kind of care about. The vessel that you are currently on is sinking. And you would like to stay alive, and you would quite like those people that are with you to also stay alive. And said pink inflatable dinghy is being presented to you as an option that you can purchase at this given point in time. Are you asking if it comes in other colorways? Do you mind what it was used for in its past life? Have you got questions and concerns about its price point? How much would you choose to pay for said dinghy right now? It changes, doesn't it? It changes. You're like, gimme, 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 I'll fight you for it. Your value is only valuable where it is both appreciated and appreciating. Now let's look at this same scenario. In this same scenario where you're out on the water do you want to buy swimming lessons? Probably not. Would you like maybe to read a guide about how you could build a boat in your own time over a weekend to get you to shore someday? Are you interested in being able to rent a boat maybe someday soon? Or do you have a completely different list of concerns? See, when it comes to value, there are 5 buying triggers. And those of you that are saying you only see half my screen, it's on purpose. It's because I'm going to write 5 things over here on the screen. There are 5 kind of buying triggers that are attached to value. One is immediacy. And 2 is urgent or urgency. 3 is important. 4 is essential. And then 5 is aspirational. This is the order we solve our problems in. We solve our immediate problems, then we solve our urgent problems, we solve our important problems, we solve our essential problems, then we get to work on our aspirational problems. And most of our value communications towards our clients, almost all sit in this sandbox. We are trying to help them solve their essential and aspirational problems. I can't if I've got one of these, or one of these, or one of these.
Why can't you with the urgent and important?
Is okay, we're in the water. We are drowning. What is your immediate need?
Air, life, boat,
Right?
something,
Right.
flotation device.
So we're not in the, well, what if I could maybe improve your swimming time with some improvements to your stroke? Right? Like the swimming lessons aren't even that important to you at this point in time. Just freaking somebody throw me a rubber ring. Oh, guess what? There's other people here too that need some help. Like that's an urgent scenario. Who can help my people? What's important? Got to get to shore, got to get to shore, got to get to shore, got to get to shore. Immediate, urgent, important, essential, aspirational needs. That's where we start. We have to think about this with a buyer and a seller. Like, what is their immediate need? What is their urgent need? What is their important need? What is their essential need? What is their aspirational need? They're all different things. If we don't know them, we cannot position our value towards them. Now, here's where it gets even trickier. There are then 4 factors that go into whether something is valuable. And the 4 factors that go into something being valuable are these. And folks, if anyone's having difficulty seeing a screen, then what you might want to do is to move something to speaker, like like the viewer that you have on it at this moment in time is that you're only seeing part of it because I see me and Ryan side by side. I think others do too. Um, is these are the four factors that then influence value. Oh, one, two, three, four. One is money. Two is time. Three is risk. And four is either status or identity, depending upon which way you want to call it. And in this scenario, why is this important? Like, I will give you money if you improve my relationship with money. I will give you money or attention if you change my relationship with time. I will give you money if you positively change my relationship with risk. And I will give you money if I can change the story I tell myself about myself because of the fact that we are now working together. So we've got a few things. Your value is only valuable where it's both appreciated and it's appreciating. When it comes to something being valuable, it will run through that ladder of immediate, urgent, important, essential, aspirational. In terms of then deciding how is this something worth it, we see it only as truly valuable in association to one of these things. See, will I pay you 6% to sell my house, Ryan, if I believe that you're going to make me more money than the guy that's going to sell it for 5?
Say
Or
so.
4 or 3 or 2 or 1? Yes. If I believe that me working with you is going to be worth more money, I will be happy to pay for a higher fee. If I believe that you're going to get this done quicker and speed is of concern to me, would I pay more for it? If you can prove to me that you've done this before and you've done it for hundreds of others, does that de-risk? And if the result of which is you can do all of this with the discretion that we don't have to tell every single one of my neighbors that I'm up for sale and I have to deal with all of the inbound inquiries from them of wondering what's going on, will that change the story I tell myself about myself in this given moment in time? The answer is yes. You have to
The
be able to
funny
bring
thing
all of this
is,
together.
don't sleep on the risk proponent of helping people facilitate these transactions. It's something we talk about a lot on the young team. The risk ultimately correlates to time and money, right? If you have a
Mm-hmm.
deal that falls through, that costs the seller time and a lot of times money, right? And so the risk mitigation is a if you can't articulate how you help sellers, or if you don't know the data around how many of your deals fall through compared to the rest of the market, that is something that should help you justify your value. And I just think sometimes it's slept on. A lot of times we only focus on the saying of, if I can show you how I can net you more, right? That's always kind of like, we always focus on the net side. The
Right?
risk, there's a lot of value in that to the mature seller, or to the mature
Okay.
buyer.
Ryan, give me an X and a Y, and we're going to make this go full circle. So, who is
Yep.
the type of person, and what are the kind of problems they have?
Luxury, let's just say a luxury homeowner,
Okay. So, a
and they
luxury
want to,
homeowner,
yep, and
and
they
what are
want
they looking to do?
they want to sell their luxury home.
Okay. And is this a family home? Is this a second home? Is this been a
Uh,
long-term family heirloom?
Personal residence,
Okay. So that they can do
and
what?
so that they can downsize because their youngest has graduated.
Okay. Now let's look at this again. I asked this for people, not properties. You gave me a property. You gave me a luxury home. I'm in the
Hmm.
business of helping people. I'm not in the business of supporting properties. So tell me about this person. What is their circumstances? What are they going through? Who's the person?
They have 3 children.
Okay.
Youngest just graduated, so
Okay.
they're in this large home by themselves, the
And what
two
do
of
they do
them.
for
And
work?
uh, the husband is a consultant and the wife is a doctor.
Okay. So two busy working professionals, and they're married, and their elder kids are off going to do their own things, and they've got busyness, and they're rattling around in a monster of a house that they don't need anymore.
And they want to start traveling to visit all of their kids who are all in 3 different cities.
Okay, well, I'm in the business of helping busy professionals that have built wealth
Mm.
in real estate to be able to navigate the next chapter of their life without needing to be able to deal with the busyness of a house transaction. Well, how do you do that then? Well, what is their immediate issue? Well, my house is not ready for sale at this moment in time, and there are too many things to be able to do. Well, what is my urgent issue? Well, actually, I have some like upcoming major maintenance issues that if we don't take care of them um in the new transaction, we're going to have to spend money on the roof and on the boiler and on these other things otherwise, and we know that we're not going to be staying here anyway. We'd much rather like not spend a ton of money knowing we're not going to get it back and get some. And what's important? Well, like I don't want this to be a headache. We still have to live in the house whilst everything that's going on at this moment in time. And what is my essential issue? Well, I want a fair price for this. I mean, we bought this a decade ago. We got a ton of equity, and I don't want to be taken for a ride, but I want a decent price for this. But also, I don't want it to be the most important thing that's happening in my life at this moment in time because you're busy, I'm busy, kids are busy, we want to be traveling, we just want to get this done. What's aspirational? Damn, I wonder if we can get like a high ticket price for this that puts a ton of cash in our pocket. See, where do most people start their value conversation on that? Let me tell you how much money I can make you. Huh, it's not their biggest issue. So, what do we do about money? Well, actually, our money conversations is some of the value that you get from choosing us at the young team in this scenario is we understand that you make your money in your job. So by hiring us to help sell your home, you can focus your effort, your energy on doing the thing that you do best while we get to work on what we do best. Also, whilst trying to maximize the resale value inside of your home. What that does is it saves you a boatload of time, meaning that you're not having to stage, you're not having to write descriptions, you're not having to deal with the communications that come around this. And because of the way that we run our open home process, it means that all you need to do is to go take some vacations. And while you're on vacation or out of time on business, we will use that time to market your home. Now, we've done this a number of times before, so you don't have to worry about whether we know what it takes to be able to get it done. We appreciate this is hard. In the last 12 months, there have been 13 families like yours that we've managed to be able to navigate a process of this nature. And note that the kind of service levels that we provide is we know they're not for everybody, which is why we cap ourselves to only ever supporting one family in one neighborhood at any one time in this capacity of transaction so that you know that you've got our full capacity, our full attention. So I know it took me a long time to get there. We understand, but without us getting all of these ingredients, the best we're going to do is show up and throw up a load of reasons why somebody thinks that we're worth it. But what if I'm like with a first time buyer that's with a rental? I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what are they? Is there a newly married couple that have been in a rental for 5 years and they've decided that they're going to put down roots and start a family in the neighborhood that they grew up in? What is their problem? They don't know which neighborhood to pick. They don't want to buy a house in the wrong area. They don't want to buy something that's too small. They don't want to find themselves stuck with something that's going to be a challenge. Oh, what is their immediate issue? Lease needs to be renewed by September or by January. And if we don't, what is an urgent issue? Well, Jesus, prices just keep going up in this given area at this moment in time. We don't want to get priced out of the market. What is an important issue? Don't want to buy a stinker of a house that's going to cost me more money to be able to run than I need to. What is an essential issue? We've got to get on the property ladder quickly. What is aspirational? I mean, wouldn't it be great if we could buy a steal that has some built-in equity in it in the first place, get ourselves a bit of a deal? Okay, well, how do we change their relationship with money? Will we help them to be able to understand that they don't overpay for a home? They have transparency and clarity about all of the hidden expenses so that they can go in with confidence and clarity. And we save them time by shortlisting homes on their behalf, by using our experience to be able to navigate them towards the right areas that might have the long-term aspirational growth for it. How does this de-risk them scenario? Is we'll tell them straight, if they're going to buy something they can't sell, if they're going to buy something that was beautiful for them yesterday that doesn't look after their long-term needs, if they're not aware of what they're going to need when they've got a bigger family that is going on, we're going to make sure they're not going to buy a house that they might need to sell quickly that's not going to be fit for their needs. Oh, and you know what? We've been specializing in supporting first-time buyers to be able to make their first transaction. And it means that you get to join our very special club that when you become a homeowner with a young team, you join this little insider club of other people who've made the step from rentals. It means you get invited to events. It means that you get exclusive offers. It means that we'll plug you into a vendor network. So you know all that chaos around like bills and insurances and all the other hidden costs we told you about up here, then you're going to be connected with people that allow you to be able to get the best and the best prices, all because you chose us. I knew I said I was going to spend a bit of time here, but folks, is this helpful?
What I find is so interesting is my brain always goes transactional, right?
Hmm.
And so when it's confidently positioned your fees and value against any objections, my first reaction was the marketing we do, the
Hmm.
experience we have, the other homes we've sold. You totally flip it on its head. And it's like, if you can create that type of connection and instill that type of confidence, most of the time, the consumer or the prospect isn't going to interview multiple people. But I feel like you're creating such a relational connection with them that it's like all of a sudden, none of the rest of that stuff
Yep.
matters.
Have you ever had like a situation in a restaurant where the server is telling you about all the specials they have on the menu, and you're like, I don't like raw fish, and
I'm
you know,
vegetarian.
yeah, it sounds disgusting, and like enough already, right? It's turning you off, and then I just keep going and going and going. That's what agents do to their clients. What you really want is like, what you're in the mood for. I'm in the mood for a steak. Okay, well, how do you like your steak prepared? Boom. When was the last time you had a steak? Well, last time I had a fillet. Like, is a fillet the only thing you'd go for, or would you be open to something with a touch more marbling? It's like we are all in on the thing that matters. And I know that some of you are looking at this in the chat, being like, it's a lot to take in. This is really freaking hard. Like, it's taken me 30 years of my life to get to be able to do this quickly, and an obsession. I would love you to not try to find the easy button. There isn't one.
Mm.
It's really freaking hard, and it's amazing that it's hard. Because if it wasn't hard, any fool could do it. And if any fool could do it, like like Ryan's business wouldn't be in helping you. We'd be building tech companies that were one click to buy, one click to buy, one click to buy. But the messy middle, the chaos navigation of helping people navigate problems, that's our job. And if you want to get paid big money for it, help people navigate big messes. And love that it's hard, but that means you have to get better and understand what this then means. It means that you have to practice. Professionals practice. Let me repeat, professionals practice. What does practice look like? It looks like practice. It doesn't look like perfect. It looks like practice. Professionals practice what the amateurs do. They practice on their prospects. And then they get paid like amateurs because they make amateur mistakes and on game day. But if you want to win on game day, you have to make practice look like practice so you can show up on game day with a greater level of competence and do this work. And my guess is you could think about a group of people that you know that you currently come second with, that you'd like to come first with. You could bring into focus more awareness of what their problems are. You can then go, well, hang on, do I really know what an immediate challenge would be for that person? An urgent challenge would be for that person, an important challenge would be for that person, an essential challenge would be for that person, an aspirational challenge would be for that person. Can I put them in order? Because if you can't do it in a classroom, you're not going to do it on the fly. Can you then look at it and say, well, actually, how does the stuff that we do improve that person's relationship with money, time, risk, or status? Even put simply, right? Is if you're in the business of helping somebody buy a second home or a vacation home, the fact that you go and deliver showings or viewings for them without them needing to go themselves saves them a ton of time. If you can do FaceTime showings, video tours, but if I live round the corner and I'm trying to buy my first house, I don't want a FaceTime showing or a video tour. I want to see you at the house because I'm so scared of it not being what it needs to feel like because I'm nervous about this transaction. And although these factors are always true, the fact that meets the factor is almost always different. And that's where your nuance comes in. And that's where you move from being only compared on price or list of service or brand to be like, oh, she gets me, he gets me. Game over for everybody else in that scenario.
Well, in that scenario, we've now gotten in front of the prospect. Most of the time, if you're, I would say, I'm hoping all the time, if you're talking about differentiators between you and them, you're sitting across from them versus doing it on
Yep.
the phone or through email on someone you've never met. The next comment or question was re-engage past leads and clients without sounding needy. So how do we get to the point to getting in front of them to talking about our value proposition through discovery and relationship, et cetera, by re-engaging past leads and clients without sounding needy?
I mean, we taught this. I'll teach it a
Yep.
thousand times. I'll teach this a thousand more times until it sinks. It is this easy and this hard. Then you go to your past lead, your past client, you put a polite opening in. Hi, Ryan, this is Phil calling from Keller Williams. You stick a mutually agreeable fact in that says, I can't believe it's 2 years since that we were together again at that attorney's office and getting you the keys to 123 Main Street. And then we give an easy to answer question that is like, are you guys still living there? Like, yeah, we're living there. We then take a very simple questioning arc and we go past, present, future. What does this look like in this scenario? We say, well, what's happened since? Okay. We stay there as long as we need to. We say, what is your current situation? Which could equally be like, what's happening for you guys now? Like, how you doing? Where you're at? Like, but a current situation. And then we ask a future question, which could be something like, so where do we go from here? And what are they going to say? They're going to say, I don't know. So you're going to then make an offer to them, and you're going to make an offer with the words, would it help if? And if you don't know what help looks like, you can't make an offer with would it help if. But if this was a past client that's like, oh, we don't know. I mean, we're pretty happy here in the house, but we don't see ourselves staying here forever. Okay. So where do we go from here? They're like, I don't know. You say, well, would it help if you had an accurate understanding of what a house like yours might be worth in a market like this? Oh, I guess there's no harm in knowing. Okay. Well, if I can spend some time on preparing that detail for you over the coming days, like when would be a good time for us to speak again? And then we schedule it. But say you were speaking to a past client that you almost did business with, they were a lead. You'd say, hey Ryan, it's Phil calling from Keller Williams, and I see recently that you did show some interest in potentially possibly buying a home at 123 Main Street. And did you still have some interest in something, or did you find something else, or have you given up entirely on the home search process? Oh no, we're still looking. Okay. So what have you learned? What it and what is your current situation? And where are you hoping to go from here? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, would it help if you maybe stop by the office sometime and we could have a proper conversation about what you're looking for and help you understand more about where you might have to make some compromises? Oh yeah, I guess that would help. Well, when would be a good time for you to swing by? It's the same everywhere. And people keep trying to want to make it different. I'm like, why? It's the same everywhere. Every pop song that you love is the same chord progression. We've all watched the same movie 50 times. It just had different characters and a slightly different narrative, but it was the same movie. Somebody was in trouble. They were having a bad time. They met somebody. They fell in love. Life got better. Happy ending. We have this desire to complicate things unnecessarily, which is stupid. Opening fact question, past, present, future. Would it help if? When would be a good time? Opening fact question, past, present, future. When would be a good time? Would it help if? When would be a good time? Rinse, repeat.
And real quick, you and that example, you said, are you for the question, are you still in the market or did you give up on the search? Something in that
Yeah.
vein, right? What happens if they say we gave up on it?
Ah,
Because I feel like a lot
ah.
of times uh we get out scripted, or a buyer or seller gets defensive and starts to think, well, if I just say I
Isn't
gave
it
up on it, then it's
embarrassing
like,
that the prospect or client is better at your job than you are? Oh, that's embarrassing, slightly awkward. So, what do you do in that scenario? You're talking about like scenario three here, right? This whole true motivation thing. So, when they're trying to give you the brush off, you have to go to questions that are in the safest place. Where are all the safest space questions? If you're trying to find standard motivation, you go backwards. So, take this scenario, they're like, no, we think we've given up. You go, well, okay, so where are you guys living right now? They're like, I know this one. I say, do you own it or are you renting? They say, well, I mean, we're renting still. Okay. And your plan is to rent forever? No, our plan's not to rent forever. Okay. And what three things do you like best about your existing home? Well, I like this, and I like this, and I like this. Oh. So you'd be looking for similar in the kind of home that you'd want to move into next? Yeah, definitely. Okay. And if there was one thing you could change, what would the one thing be? Oh man, it's the space. It's nowhere near big enough, and because it's a rental, the fixtures aren't anywhere near what we would like. And to be fair, we've been sick for a long time of not being able to make a house at home and feel so many constraints that come by it. And I don't like the fact that every year we have like an assessment that means our rent goes up and goes up and goes up. In fact, I'm kind of scared about like how much this could escalate to over the next 3, 5 years, particularly with the changes in the oh, okay. So you're still looking to move? Well, yeah, I guess so. So where do we go? Oh, now we record them. We come straight back here and we say, Ryan, I get it. There's my opening. Finding a home to buy is no easy quest, but you do agree it's probably the right direction. Yes. Okay. And everything we've looked up until right now, what have you learned? Past. Okay. So where does that leave us now? I don't know. So where do we go from here? Not sure. Well, would it help if we just called today a new day one? We had a new conversation, taking everything we already knew and just view it as a starting again from now discussion. And when would be a good time for us to do that? Is right now good, or should we schedule it for a later time? Easy.
so good. So good. If you guys are getting value out of this, do me a favor, throw a yes in the comments. I'm just like, I just like go straight into the like, this is so wild to me of like, wow, I've been doing it so wrong. I want to, it's funny, and we will make sure that we get through these other three. Just really quickly before we do, Phil has put something super special for us. Uh, I will throw this into the comments, but if you go to exactlywhattosay.com wait list, I will throw this in the comments. Um, Phil has something like super cool that's coming to help us go deeper into these type of scenarios. Can you just really quick touch base on that?
Yeah, I mean, for years, people have bumped into our work with our role play cards, with our seminars, with our trainings, with our keynotes, working with our guides, and then so now what? And we didn't want to create a coaching group. Don't really want to create a giant training organization. And one thing I know for sure is that the real estate community right now wants direction, wants tools, and wants it at a price point that's insanely affordable, like something that doesn't have you like, boom, 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 am I going to get my ROI on this like in a minute? So we spent a ton of time saying, well, what do we think they need? And we might be wrong on this, but here's what I'm believing is going to be remarkably useful. Is high impact trainings like this that you can watch on a time demand that suits you so that you can absorb information, view it back on repeat, and then have some resources behind it that could give you the highlights, like some cheat sheets to it. Also, tools like our day planner and our role play cards, etc. Also, like artwork for your offices that you can have as reminders and prompts and tips that you can print out and have. Also, some AI tools that can help you role play with others and can help you build frameworks and formats like this. Also, a couple of like live interactive virtual events that happen over a year. And also, what else did we put into Academy? Oh, these three recordings from these three fellow webinars go to be going in here too. So instead of it being like a coaching group with lots of community and expectation, just tools and some checkpoints that help you level up in your conversations, all for a price point that is like stupid now I think of it. It's ridiculously cheap. In fact, I need to change it. Um,
but not for
well,
the fellow community.
not for the fellow community, but yeah, I mean, I think we're looking like it's going to be $1,000 a year or something for like all of it. And then we're going to keep building it and making the tools better that live inside of it, so people want to come back and do it for the next year and the next year and the next year. That's the goal.
I don't know. I wasn't a math guy, but $1,000 a year broken down by 12 months is less than $100 a month, right?
Yes.
Less than $100 a month, everyone. So I just like young team. I know there's a couple of you guys on here. Like I saw Steph T in the crowd. A couple, my dad, Jeff Young. Shout out to my dad who loves this stuff. This is no brainer. The young team is so invested. Phil's done a lot of stuff with our team. He's just brilliant with this stuff. And it's once again, I just realized I've been selling at a really high level for over 15 years and it's like been doing it all wrong. Imagine if I knew this back then when I got started. So I just find this as just golden information. Let's keep it moving. Someone asked,
Mhm.
uncover a lead's true motivation and inspire immediate action. So I know that kind of rolls up. I know you said 10%. That kind of
Mhm.
rolls up to everything you've already said, but
Yep.
just address that one really quickly. Uncover a lead's true motivation and inspire immediate action.
Everything is in that scenario is about going backwards. Let's take, for example, on a listing presentation. In a listing, what many people do is you show up to the conversation, all of your early interactions and rapport is facing forward. It's like, so why are you looking to move, and what are you looking for price point? Show me the house. What have you done with the place, etc. Right? That's where the questions go. What we're better to do is to recoil. So don't ask people what their motivations are for selling. In a listing scenario, before you get to the current listing conversation, build rapport with strategic curiosity by asking historic based questions. Questions like, so how long have you been here in the house? They're like, I know this one. And then you say, well, where were you living before? They're like, I know this one too. And you say, well, what was it prompted you to move from here to here? And they'll tell you. And you're saying your time in the house, like, what have you seen in changes in the neighborhood? And they'll tell you. And the house that you've owned over this period of time, what have you done with it since buying it? Well, we did this, and we did this, and we did this, and we did this. And what are some of the things that maybe somebody should know about a house like this if they were to take it on as the new homeowner? Oh, okay, that's interesting. And at this moment in time, what is it that's prompted you to think about possibly making a move? Now they tell you the truth with all the backstory. Well, as it happens now, Ryan, I mean, we love the house. It's a beautiful house. And for the 2 days a year that we fill it with people, it's amazing. But every day I'm rushing around trying to get ready for work. I can't find my keys. I can't find my phone. I see the tax bill come in and think that's ridiculous just for two of us. We have a cleaner that's taking care of this and a grounds person that's taking care of this. The boiler's about to be able to blow up for this. And it's just all too much for us. And worse than all of that at this moment, if I'm being perfectly straight with you, is every time I walk that top corridor past the kiddos' rooms, I say kiddos like my youngest is 23 right now. Um, I'm reminded about the time that I wasn't here when they're here and I miss them. You're like, dang, that's how you find people's motivation.
Mm.
Not by asking it, but by making a safe environment that they can tell you useful truth. And that means, my friends, please stop looking for pain points. Stop digging deeper. Stop probing people. Get skillful enough to go looking for useful truth. Be skillful enough to understand their context truly so you can know what help looks like. We're in the people business and they need your help.
And what it sounds like to me is, and I've heard you do this now multiple times on this call, which is super helpful. When you get to a point where they start to object, you said recoil. You start to
Yeah.
work backwards on answers that you know that they already know, that they don't feel threatened or territorial on. And you start to warm them up again by giving them
Mm-hmm.
these softball type of lobs of like, you know, these answers. This is when did you move into the house? What did you love about the house when this is not about their future. This is just
This
them
is tenants,
reminiscing, revisiting the, yeah,
right? You don't start trying to serve aces when you're having a game. Like we just want the
yeah,
rally to get going again.
yeah. It's
We've
awesome.
got
Okay.
two more
All
scenarios,
right.
and I want to hit them real quick.
Yep. Overcome a seller's emotional attachment by using data.
You have to position data. Means that what we have to learn how to do is to shift people's perspectives. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reach for some of the role play cards in order, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can do this for the scenario now. And if people are like, where do I get the role play cards? Super easy. Somebody put the link in the chat. Similarly, shoot me a DM on Instagram mentioning the word role play. You'll get the link straight back. That will work for you too. My handle's on my screen here right now. But let's say you're looking at position data. What might be data that you're looking to position? Maybe house prices going up. Give me a piece of data you want to position, Ryan.
Interest rates coming down.
Okay. So what I do is I say, well, what do you understand about the changes that we're seeing in current interest rates? People are going to be like, not much. Okay. So what is your experience of what happens when rates start moving downwards? Well, I suppose it becomes a bit more affordable. Okay, and what else? And what else? And what else? And they'll say things like, well, I suppose it might drive some more demand. And okay, and what is your experience of when demand gets increased? Well, I suppose it means that more people are going to be looking to buy. And how certain are you that you're definitely going to want to buy something in the next 6, 12 months? Oh yeah, we're pretty darn certain we want to buy something. Well, when was the last time that you saw something online that you might like to buy? Oh, I mean, we see stuff occasionally online that we quite like to buy. And how important is it to you that the payment on something like that is affordable? Yeah, it's pretty darn important that the payment is affordable. Yeah, but like on a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, it's like a 10. Well, could it be possible that the slight adjustments in downward rates would mean that the kind of houses that you're looking at become a touch more affordable? Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, how would you feel if I was to let you know today that rates have just dropped to 6.55 for somebody like yourself? Well, I feel pretty darn good. Well, just imagine knowing that's going to save you an extra $300 a month. Look, if you're serious about making a move, then now might be the time to do it. But we could be presenting data about comps, right? Because somebody thinks their house is worth more than they thought it was. So I'd go opening fact question. I'd say, I get it. I know that you love your house and that you believe that it is something that is worthy of top dollar, and that you're still definitely though looking to get sold in this current market conditions, right? They'll say, yeah. I say, well, what do you understand about what the market's currently telling us? I say, I don't know. I say, well, what is your experience of houses that have been on the market for maybe 95 plus days? Oh, well, I mean, what do you mean? I mean, how certain are you definitely want to sell? Well, we definitely want to sell. Okay. Well, when was the last time that you saw something sit on the market for a long period of time and then end up selling for over its asking price? Oh, not sure. Well, how important is it to you that you get top of the market at this given moment rather than that we maybe miss our moment? Well, that's pretty darn important. Well, could it be possible that for something to change, something would need to change? Yeah, I guess so. Well, how would you feel if I was to share with you that there are three other houses on the market right now that are bigger than yours, in better condition and in better neighborhoods that are priced slightly lower than where you're currently on the market right now? How would you feel if that was true? Hmm. I mean, just imagine being a buyer in today's market and having the choice of houses that are bigger than yours, in better locations and in better conditions for less, and yours. Like, what would that make you think? Like, if you're serious about selling, then you're going to need to be competitive in this market. But if you're just speculating and questioning whether you even want to do this, then we can call it a day from here. But if you are serious about selling, then I'm serious about getting this done for you.
Mm.
See the play?
It's it's so good. And then real quick, if can you give us 3 more minutes?
Yeah.
We got 3 more to run through. It's so funny because you can use those exact same scenario, and you started to actually reference some. The last was set a realistic price and handle price reductions without conflict or price adjustments without conflict. And I almost feel like that was what you just walked through, right?
Oh, wouldn't it funny? Look at how that happened by accident. Maybe I did it
Weird
on
how that
purpose.
works.
Maybe. But look what happens, Ryan, if I keep going. Look, if I keep going with the card deck in order, what I now say is I speed the conversation up. I mean, when would be a good time for us to sit down and look at what our new game plan needs to be? I mean, okay, we need to make that happen. Okay. And I'm guessing you haven't got around to reviewing all of the other comps that I sent across to you on email. No, not really, not really. Look, the way I see it is you have three options. Well, now we're in a pricing conversation, aren't we? The way I see it is you have three options. What do I now do? I now present them with three options. Well, here's what we can do is what you could do is you could just hold strong. We could sit on the market knowing that there's nobody in the current market that is looking to be able to purchase your given home. And we can cross our fingers and hope that somebody new comes to the market in the coming weeks or months that sees all the value that you hope for and appreciate in this home. And I understand that's possible. We could do that and see if we get lucky. Alternatively, what you could do is you could decide that you just want to keep the place. You live here now. Welcome to your forever home. I know I'm being a bit sassy, but only kind of.
But it's
Uh,
some sellers need to hear the sass.
right? Or alternatively, then what we could do is we could make a number of changes to the way that your house is positioned to the market right now, introduce it to potential new buyers, and see what that does to be able to drive new activity. Out of those three options, which one do you think is going to get you sold quickest? And they're like, well, tell me more about option three. And you say, well, the way I see it is you have three options. What we could do is we could listen to all the feedback that's come from the people that didn't buy up until right now, and we could take their advice for cosmetic upgrades and we could get that work done. I could introduce you to contractors, we could start to be able to do the work, we could remodel the kitchen, we could upgrade the landscape. I mean, geez, we could put a pool in the backyard should you choose to. And we can pour some money in to drive the value up towards the price that you're currently looking for. Alternatively, if this is just about getting it sold quickly, geez, I could drop the price to the floor tomorrow. I know somebody would pay cash for this. Or by alternative, what we could do is we could make a number of adjustments on both our sides. Is we could reshoot some photos that show it in its new light now that we're into the fall. We could rewrite the listing description to be able to position it towards a slightly different avatar. What we could do is maybe run an email blast out to the broker community, another email blast out to our agent community. But most importantly, what we can do is make an intentional adjustment to the price that moves your home into some different brackets onto the online search engines, which activates a complete new buyer pool. Out of those three options, which one do you think is going to get this done for you? How low do we need to go, Ryan? That's what they're coming back with. And you see that same conversation, that's a price setting conversation and a price resetting conversation. It's the same one. The problem most of you had is you never had this in the first place. You just said, I think it's worth blank. We're going to list it at blank. And then everybody banks the money. You bank your money on the 2 million. They bank their money on the 2 million. And we're all guessing playing Monopoly. All of us. But everybody spends the money. So what you can do in this area, which is the tiniest of simple swaps, is stop calling it a list price and decide what your go-to-market strategy is and what your go-to-market price is going to be. You see how that sets you up for a different level of success? Like we need to decide our go-to-market strategy, and part of that is the go-to-market price. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Well, when it comes to pricing a home, the way I see it is we have three options. You know, what you can do is we can take the top number that we think that we might be able to get for at the top of the market, and we can make that the list price and hope that there is one buyer out there that is looking for this home at this price point and in all of these conditions, and we could see how that works out. Also, when it comes to pricing, you can do things like auctions. You can set super low pricing, and you can get aspirational. That what it does is it drives an absolute frenzy to be able to try and get this like sold in a short period of time. But what the smart people do in this market with a house of this nature and in this type of price point is what they tend to do is they get their best results when you price slightly below current market value and do the best you can to position it into people where it's aspirational to them as well as just affordable to them, but they're still looking. And we find the more attention that we can bring of qualified buyers, the more likely that is to get you to the top of the market. Out of those three games, which one do you want to play? You see me even positioning them as a game? I'm abdicate. I'm no fortune teller here. I'm happy to run the play, and I run the play really freaking well. But I don't know what's going to happen. I just can decide the play, just like a great coach can on the sidelines of a sports team. We can decide what play we're going to run, but we don't know it's going to work. We just know what play we're going to run. Oh, we're going to run that play. Okay. And they're like, really? I mean, we're not in any rush, Phil. We just want to try at the bigger number first. And they're adamant. Does this happen? Yes. You say, here's what you say. I just want you to see like how easy this is.
While he's pulling those up, listen to the words he chooses. He didn't say price reduction, he said intentional adjustment. Like much bigger, like are we professionals, right? Like how are we communicating with other professionals or for with our home sellers? An intentional adjustment, not a price reduction. And
Mhm.
I just think that's like really the little details are so powerful.
They go to say that they want to put it on the market at the top level pricing. You say, look, I get it. Like we both want to get the biggest number for this house transaction. It benefits both of us. You get that, right? They say, yeah, sure. Then where do I go from there? I say, well, what do you understand about the potential consequences of overpricing your home when you bring it to market? They say, not much. What do you mean? I mean, what is your experience of walking past a retail store and seeing something with a price point on it that is beyond what you'd be prepared to pay? Do you walk in or and ask for a discount, or do you just keep walking? Oh, you just keep walking, right? Got it. Well, how certain are you that you want to repel people that would be considering offers? Oh, I didn't see it that way. I mean, when was the last time that you aggressively asked for a discount on something as opposed to looking for an alternative? Oh, you don't? Oh. Well, how important is it to you that the aspirational buyers feel like that they can come and play on this house too? I guess so. Could it be possible that all that happens by overpricing your home is that it costs you days? Yeah, I guess so. And could it be possible that even if we do try this, that would need to make a change quickly if something doesn't come up with good fortune? I mean, how would you feel if we try it at your price for 14 days? And then if it doesn't deliver the hopeful result that we're both looking for, like how would you feel if we then run my play? Okay. I mean, just imagine, yes, we get lucky, like we all win. But just imagine how difficult this conversation would be if I told you that your house is definitely going to sell for your number and here we are 14 days in and it hasn't, and that we hadn't had this complex conversation right now. Just imagine how awkward that would be. Like, if you want this sold, then I'm okay to at least try your idea. Um, but if you're happy to run mine 14 days in, then I'm happy to run yours for the first 14 days. Sound fair? They're gonna say yes. So when would be a good time for us to get the marketing together? And I'm guessing you haven't got around to doing your work on the contract. And look, I get it. You have three options. Folks, I've done all the work for you. People keep trying to make it more complex. I've already done it. It's like nobody's making more notes on a keyboard so that they can make new music. They're using the notes on the keyboard and then they're making new music. These are the notes on the keyboard. Go make the music. Stop trying to build new notes. It's stupid. Sorry, get a
Guys,
little agitated.
I friggin' love it. I think we're all agitated in a lack of conversion and not understanding why. And I think this helps provide clarity on why. We're not saying the right
Mhm.
things, we're not taking the right approach. And I feel like your framework essentially it just exposes the lack of that. And so I'm going to leave you guys with two things. Go get the role play cards. There were a couple people that said, how do you get those? DM Phil, right, on Instagram, role play, or post on social, hashtag fellow, tag Phil on, and we will get five of you guys those role play cards on fellow. It's on us, okay? So let's make sure we get you guys those role play cards. They are just totally killer. And then also make sure you check out the exactlywhattosay.com / coming soon / what is it? Throw it in the
Waitlist.
chat, everyone. / waitlist. Thank you. Um, Definitely this is a community you want to be a part of for under $100 a month. It's a no-brainer. I mean, this stuff is gold. Once again, Phil, thank you, my friend. You are brilliant. I'm hoping we can do more of these for the fellow community in the future, but these last three were just absolutely mind-blowing, and I can't thank you enough for investing into the community.
Oh, it's a joy. And I love you guys and the whole team behind it. The work that's been put in the background to be able to make this webinar series come together has made this easy for me to show up and just pour in without having the logistics in the background. So grateful for the whole fellow team. And those of you that are here with fellow, is it's okay to tell other people about fellow. You don't have to keep it a secret. You can share it with others. And if you do share the fact that you get value from fellow, then remember to share it in two ways. One is the product, right? They got a badass product that really is freaking helpful. But also this level of care and love that comes from the fellow community to be able to do the work to organize and orchestrate value assets like what we've put together here for you that I'll tell you behind the scenes, Ryan and co are like we're not trying to be able to do anything other than just help our people so that they can go out and achieve more. And that's the kind of organization you're working with. So please be happy to share that amongst others as well and let people know the incremental value you get from fellow as well as the obvious value.
Well, I'm so grateful for you and all of you guys that are attending because you're investing in yourself and your careers in our industry to make our industry better and leveling up the experiences that our customers, buyers, sellers, et cetera, are getting. And so, really proud that you guys are all investing this time. Phil, thank you. Everyone, looking forward to the next one. We will keep it coming and appreciate you all. Have a great day and let's go help people buy and sell some homes.
See you all soon, guys.